start off light with stuff that's kind of just a bit arbitrary. And did anyone even know this was going on? All right, there we go. Should be showing. All right. Salute to Hollywood Unlocked. Salute to Jason Lee. As you may have heard, dozens of American birds to be renamed due to offensive name origins. So to give some more background, the American Ornithological Society, the AOS, said in a statement that they plan to change the names of a dozen birds that could be deemed offensive. Colleen Handel, the society's president, said that some of the bird species were named after enslavers, white supremacists, and grave robbers. The plan involves renaming between 70 to 80 species, predominantly found in the United States and Canada, as reported by the Unilad. Some birds' names include Batchman warbler, the Hodgson's frogmouth, and the Townsend's warbler. We've come to understand that there are certain names that have offensive or derogatory connotations that cause pain to people, and that it is important to change those to remove those as barriers to their participation in the world of birds, Angel explained. We also have Ken Kaufman, I hope I'm saying these names right, an influential figure in the birding community. Did anyone, I mean, I guess there are communities for everything, but did anyone... Huh?
I know about birding. It used to be a lot more popular in the early 1900s.
There you go. Jeez, maybe you could shine some light that we didn't know. But yeah, if you're in the know about the birding community, told NPR that the name changes will make a significant impact despite being against the name changes at first. I've been seeing some of these birds and using these names for every year for the last 60 years. It's going to feel like a bother to some people, but I think it's actually an exciting opportunity. It's an exciting opportunity to give these birds names that celebrate them rather than some person in the past. So, we've seen this with different, in my experience, and you guys can tell me where else you've seen it, but especially when it comes to organization names, especially sports, I think one of the most famous examples is, I forget the baseball team. It might have been like literally just the Indians or something like that, but there's also the NFL team, the former Washington. Is it offensive to actually just say it? Anyway, the former Washington Redskins became the Washington football team, and I think they ended up on the Washington Commanders. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So we've seen organizations, and over time, I guess it's become more of a societal acceptable thing to change names that people deem offensive by today's standards. So yeah, and I think we might even brush on a similar topic about this, but I guess it's never. Obviously, here we definitely double dip when it comes to certain topics. I knew that was gonna happen. Don't look at that. Sorry, I was just trying to pull something up. Anyway, so simple question to y'all. Do y'all, when y'all see stuff like this, do y'all think it's actually provides some level of benefit and or like significance to do things like this, or like it actually eliminates racism in some way, or do you think if something's originally named something, it might as well just stay there? If you lay there, you might as well stay there. I think I heard Glorilla say that recently. We'll start with you, Ace, since apparently you know about birding. I'm not trying to pick on you. You probably don't know too much, but my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, I don't know too much. I heard a podcast. There was a podcast episode of podcast I listened. But anyway, yeah, for this particular topic, I think in general, like my personal thoughts are that I couldn't care less if a bird has a name of a person that was problematic or even evil in history. I truly couldn't care less.
So the bird could be called Joseph Stalin?
Exactly. Do not care. Do not care. But
Mussolini?
Still don't care. You can't name anything. I couldn't think of anything.
Donald Trump?
Nope. And also, like, it's a bird. So if you're naming some like problematic person from the past a bird, it's not even like you're glorifying them. It's a bird. Like I don't know. It seems silly to me, but of course I don't speak for every marginalized uh, community in the world. So maybe there are other people that actually care about this. I feel like it's probably an overcorrection from people who have some form of guilt for things in the past or whatever. Um, but yeah, either way, that's my thoughts on whether or not I think it actually matters. One point I have is that in favor of it is if the name changes actually help distinguish the birds better than just these random names that they have right now based off of that, it doesn't actually relate to the anything about the bird. I think that could be helpful, like if they become more descriptive.
Yeah.
um but yeah, that's the only incentive I think there would be for changing all of the names, and I think you should do it across the board if that's the goal.
Yeah, like to that point, slide over to the next tab just to give some additional context. So like they were saying, a lot of these names were based off like enslavers or white supremacists. I don't know how they're specifically defining white supremacists, or probably some big from the past. So these are examples of names. Obviously, they gave some previously, but they also have Ross's Goose, Gamble's Qual, Clark's Grebe. What is it, Grebe? But yeah, to go along with your point, yeah, some of these names are literally just a person's name and the type of bird. But
Yeah,
if it was like blue
red
jay,
nosed goose or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. That would obviously be. To be honest, I didn't even know there were that many birds that were named after people. One, and I mean, I guess it's like if the people discovered the animal, is that why they are even named after them?
Probably not. Probably not.
It's not like physics. If you created the or math, if you created the system, it gets named after you.
Nah, I doubt it.
Fair enough. What about you, Ghost? Do you think this is some level of beneficial change, or do you think it's really just modern day trying to appease things and it really doesn't matter, or shouldn't even be enacted or go through with, gone through with?
I mean, I'm pretty much on the same wave as Ace. Like, I get that it's some people will definitely not are definitely not happy with the current names, which I understand if they're named after slavers and all that. But like, this is such a niche thing to change. Like, it's not, if it was like a street name or something that's named after some racist bigot, I get it more so than this. And again, it's kind of like a scientific thing where these are all established names, and changing it just kind of seems like it's more work than it's worth for something that is so niche that how many people would even care about it? Like 1,000, 10,000? I don't know. It wouldn't be a lot. Like,
Hey
I
man, you
get
don't
it.
know if that birding community is big. Don't insult nobody now.
Well, maybe they're bigger than I'm making it out, but unless it was like a name like that had the hard N word in it somewhere, that and it's like you say, you're like, whoa. I'm I don't know. I'm not too. I don't care too much either way on if it changes. To be honest, it doesn't, in my mind, really affect anything.
Gotcha.
I
And yeah,
don't
I
know.
get.
Maybe I'm just
I
part of the problem.
Well, no. As a follow up, I was gonna ask. Like, I think a lot of people would probably feel the same sentiment. Like at the end of the day, obviously no slander or no offense to the birding community, but I think this is something that the vast majority of society wouldn't care about. So I guess a follow up question could be: if this was something that wasn't so niche, and something that you know, something that you do say or talk about in your regular day life. So I guess, like you were saying, like a street name or a building name that you typically do like speak on, if they change that, would you find any less or more problem with that? Let's go back to you
Um,
guys.
I mean, I don't think there would. I think I'd have less of a problem with that, and I understand it more because it's so visible. Like everyone sees it, people are saying it all the time. It doesn't really matter all too much when you really look at it, but I get it more than the alternative.
What if like the company that you work for is named after some old big and they completely change that? Would you care?
Not really. I mean, it's be good, I guess. Like it's objectively a good thing, but I just I really wouldn't care, to be honest. Unless
Gotcha.
like it was something like really egregious or really real piece of work.
Right.
Then
Right. Got you. And what about you, Ace? What if the changes of names are something that affected your day to day things that you speak on in your life? Would you then have any more level of caring or any less?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I worked for a place like Hitler's solar company,
Jesus
crazy,
Christ! Holy moly!
then yeah, just because I wouldn't want to have to say that I worked there, yeah,
They did say that the Germans were very efficient. Or
yeah. But I mean, hey, like Adidas, like that, I don't want
Adidas.
to, yeah, that's a German name based off of somebody who had some dealings with the Nazis back in World War II. But
oh shoot, I didn't know that.
Oh
yeah,
my God! Ghost in history, like the worst couple in
Was
history.
this is this a common thing? You knew this quest?
Are you out of your cotton? Sorry, I was about to. I was about to. Sorry.
Get yourself.
No, black people can say that. I'm not. I'm not like that white
Oh
sportscaster.
shoot, yeah, that one announcement about Russ. I
Yes,
didn't
that
know
is.
that.
Yes, that is generally common knowledge, but it's not
That's
like.
not. That's
No, I'm
not
not
even
saying
history, though.
everybody knows it, but
That's not real history. That's just like niche fact.
I think when it comes to the literally like two biggest names in apparel and shoes,
yeah.
Nike and Adidas, I think people have a vague understanding of their history. But this is not about that. Yeah, you were saying Ace, or were you set there?
No, yeah, that was pretty much it. And I was just gonna say, just a quick factoid about the birding community and its importance. The creation of the EPA is like directly related to the birding community, so it has had some huge impacts in the past. But yeah, who's to say if they'll have an impact in the future?
Huh.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, the moral of the story is I don't know about y'all, but I didn't even know there was this many subspecies of birds to where they could have. I mean, listen, this thing says in Colorado, here's a list of 53 birds that may be impacted by the mass name change among 500 plus species that have been documented in the state. This is
Yeah,
in
that's wild.
one state across 50 states. There's 500 plus species of birds. Obviously, we know with any species, there's like, a bunch of different species of, or subspecies or whatever this case may be, and we have a bunch that we haven't even like discovered yet. There's always that meme about how the Most High is dropping new animals and like Pokemon every day or every generation. But yeah, I'm like learning something new, like we all say at the end of the podcast. But again, so
People
to the
really
bird.
care if a bird is called Bonaparte's go? Like, come on, no one cares, bro. Like Napoleon's been dead. Like, it's a lot of work for.
Yeah,
Stop
that
being
is
mean.
that is interesting. Oh yeah, how much work does it change to take? I mean, we saw with like the Washington. I think people to this day still call the Washington the Redskins. So yeah, I think it takes a couple. Well, depending on how famous something is, it takes like a couple of years for something to really change. And plus, the name got to hit. You can't just change to something that don't hit. It got to hit. Anyway, again, I salute to the birding community. We don't got no beef with y'all. But I don't think we have any more to talk about on this. So unless there's anything else, we can move on.